Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our soulful journey. Welcome to our inward world. Let's close our eyes. Center balance, align our breath by taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take your own time, take your own pace, and keep breathing in and keep breathing out. And each time you breathe in, fill your body with what you think you require at this moment. Somebody needs courage, somebody needs accountability, somebody needs love. And keep releasing what you think your body doesn't require at this juncture. It could be anxiety, could be pain, could be whatever. And now, illuminate the white light in you. Let the beautiful golden white light, silverish white light, flow in your crown chakra from heavens above and keep activating all the chakras as it floods your body. After the light is activated, whatever question you have, pose that question to your subconscious mind and ask your mentors, angels, guardians, guides, masters, that may their answer come to you down in your downloads when you're going inwards while chanting Soham. Today, take time in Soham. Instead of for maybe 5 times, maybe do it for 10 times. The first 5 times, observing the pause. The second 5 or 10 times, observing any distress mentally. Third time, any physical distress. The fourth time, any emotional distress. And the fifth time, going for healing. Whether you choose set of 5 or 10, use your own pace for Soham and just start the process. Don't forget the mudras, breathing at your own pace. When you inhale, you say so. When you exhale, you say hum. And in the pause is where the magic is. It doesn't matter whether you're doing emotional, mental, or physical, mental, and emotional. The first is the pause. The next three are these three, and the last is healing. When your mind wanders away, bring it back with the help of Soham. Very important to be in alignment with the breath. It's natural to lose balance at times, to lose focus, but don't be deterred. Come back with Sohan. And when you're ready, come back in alignment with your breath. Hold your hands near your heart. Bow down in gratitude. Thank your masters and all the light beings that are in you, around you, that surround you, for their blessings, for their love, for the light, for their wisdom, for their guidance, for the nudging. Rub your hands together and come back. And we yet again going to read a book through time into healing. And today we'll talk about the techniques of regression. Chapter number 11. It is not always necessary or sometimes even possible to visit a past life regression therapist. I even recommend that my patients and those who attend my regression workshops augment the therapy or group experience with techniques that can be used at home. You can use the same techniques to explore your own past lives and access your own higher wisdom. My patients tell me that the techniques described here have given them many kinds of stimulating, relaxing, and healing experiences. A script for a version of a tape recorded relaxation, regression meditation I give to patients and instructions on how to make your own tape appear in Appendix A. This exercise will guide your subconscious mind to uncover the most pertinent childhood past life, or perhaps in between life memory for you to experience. The more often you use it, the more results you will get. The script is similar to what I do in my office, but there are other very valuable techniques to past life regression. These techniques appear in this chapter, and I recommend that you sample all of them to see which ones are the best and most enjoyable for you, and that you practice them regularly. The other techniques that I recommend fall into four categories. They include keeping a dream journal, meditation, visualization, self awareness techniques, and play techniques that you can try alone or with a friend. All will help you relax and focus your mind, allowing subconscious information to surface. All of these techniques are safe. If you have a severe symptom or are anxious about the experience, you may want to begin your exploration by first consulting a trained therapist. Honor those feelings if you have them. Remember that the subconscious is very wise. It will usually give the experience appropriate for that moment and circumstances in which you find yourself. Even some of my patients with very disturbing symptoms have successfully used regression techniques at home between sessions. However, the therapeutic process is very helpful in its ability to integrate an important past life experience into your present stage of growth. Therefore, if you ever have an experience you feel warrants help in order to integrate it into your past life situation, you may want to consult a professional therapist. Explore, trust, play. Above all, be flexible. Allow yourself to be surprised at the directions in which your higher wisdom takes you as you begin to tap the many layers of your mind, body, emotions, and soul. Now, using dreams for past life recall. Start to keep a dream journal. Dreams often contains clues about past life. Not all dreams are Freudian dreams with symbols, distortions, and wish metaphors. Some dreams convey literal past life memories. I have found the following method to be the best way to keep a dream journal. Upon awakening from sleep, lie quietly and try not to move. Try to remember your dreams. Go over in your mind, then go over it again, and more details will emerge. Next, give your dream a title, such as paralyzed with fear and running without moving, or being lost in labyrinths of German castle. Giving the dream a title will help to identify its theme and will enable you to organize by category for subsequent retrieval. Writing down all the dream details will ensure against the inevitable forgetting of the dream's content. Journal writing will also stimulate your mind to have better recall of your dreams and their details. The more dreams you record, the more clues about your past life you may retrieve or receive. You can recognize a dream that holds a clue from a past life when you find your dreamed that you were dressed in clothing from a different period of time or when you are using tools or other implements that seem to date from a different place or time. For example, if you dream that you're dressed in the style of the American Revolution, or that you're repairing ancient Native American cliff dwellings, or that you're making candles from tallow, the odds are that your dream contains a clue to a past life. You don't need to determine immediately the meaning of the clue. Simply write a narrative, give the dream a name, occasionally review the contents of your entire journal for trends or page patterns. Do the details seem interrelated or random? Details of other places and time that can be integrated into a theme or picture may be giving you indications of the most important or relevant past lives of for exploration, while the more random ones may be just that random details or else memory fragments that are not yet recognized, not yet organized. When you would like to more fully explore a past life detail or theme, meditate on it. Focus your mind on it as if you were doing a self regression. Visualize that scene, image, or fragment and let it expand and move and become more detailed. Try not to inhibit your impressions mentally, do not censor them. A fairly complete past life memory might evolve from a single meditation or over several, or not at all. This is natural variation. In the beginning, it is common on to receive a collection of past life fragments that do not seem coherent. The more you practice this technique, the more skilled you will become. In my office, I sometimes ask a patient to play the parts of all the people in his or her dream. You can adapt this technique to use by yourself. For example, if you have a past life dream where you're surrounded by an unfamiliar family, imagine and perhaps enact the role of the father, the mother, the younger sister, the boyfriend, etc. What does it feel like to be each of them? Frequently, by using the intuition, imagination to play different roles and parts, people start to understand more about what their dreams really mean. They learn more about the motivations of each character. In past life dreams, and also in working with active regression material, playing each role in the manner may uncover a strong identification with a particular character. Or if you already identify with a particular character, the technique may allow you to empathize with the motivations of other people in the dream. You may come to recognize that one of the other characters of the dreams is someone now in your present life. For instance, you might say, "This person feels just like my father." And using this role playing technique to interpret your more typical dreams, you may be able to find the patterns reflected in your present life. Using meditation and visualization for past life recall. Meditation is a practice I recommend highly, is another basic method for opening up your awareness of past life memories. Meditation clears the mind, and when the mind is clear, insights, perceptions, and perhaps past life memories may spontaneously surface. However, I have I also recommend meditation for its many other positive and far-reaching effects. Like keeping a dream journal, meditation is a technique that gives you a foundation of self-awareness that can be useful in many areas of your life. It teaches peacefulness and joy. It shows how to focus on the present moment and not to worry so much about the future or ruminate about the past. It can teach you to be in control of your mind and emotions instead of the other way around. The practice of meditation is much easier and simpler than most people believe it to be. The beginner's anxiety about doing it correctly, people believe it to be. The beginner's anxiety about doing it correctly, the right way, is what creates the difficulty. However, there is no one right way to meditate. Whenever you're relaxed, when your mind is quiet and observant, when you're not reflexively engaged in thought, you are meditating. You could be sitting cross legged on the floor with your back straight, or in a chair, or lying down, or in any other comfortable position, whatever position you are in the observant area. Aware, quiet mind is a meditating mind. In meditation, there is an active awareness, a state of open receptivity, an observing consciousness that breaks down the barriers between the observer and the observed objects. Great insights and revelations can occur in this state. Meditation takes practice and patience, but the very art of meditating creates more patience. As a psychiatrist, I know how difficult it can be to quiet the mind. Thoughts always seem to be popping up into your consciousness. As a matter of fact, most of us are not even aware of these thoughts or that we're constantly thinking, visualizing, or daydreaming. In my workshops, I ask people to close their eyes and think of nothing for 30 seconds. No thoughts, no images, just a blank mind. Almost no one can do this. After 30 seconds up, I asked people to tell me whether they had any thoughts, and if so, what were they? Why is he asking us to do this? This is silly. My back hurts. I wonder if I left my headlights on. I wish that person would stop coughing. They're examples of the constant inner chatter that floods the mind of my workshop participants. Try it for yourself and see. To meditate, find a quiet, peaceful place and just relax and try to quiet your mind. Pay attention to your breathing. Breathe slowly and gently until your breathing settles into a calm, even rhythm. Become aware of your thoughts and then softly let them go. Do not judge yourself. Do not become frustrated or impatient. Just observe your thoughts as they pass by. As you do so, you will learn a great deal about yourself. And as you practice the techniques in this chapter and in the Appendix A, you may access a past life memory with time. Meditating may enhance your success with other techniques or regression. Some people prefer to meditate by concentrating on a word, a number, or object. Again, the specific technique does not matter. As your mind and body relax, the brain's electrical activity slows and you enter an alpha or even a theta state in which the electrical wave activity of the brain decreases to a much slower rhythm than that of the normal walking or beta state. When you are in these relaxed states, you are meditating, you are restoring yourself, you are rejuvenating. Other people prefer visualizing or picturing things in their mind's eye as a meditation technique. This is very similar to daydreaming, but when I'm activity of the brain in people who are meditating and people who are visualizing. I find the same alpha and theta states. Those who visualize are also meditating, but in a more guided way. Visualization can be used as a powerful healing technique to augment the body's immune system, accelerate natural homeostatic and healing mechanisms, and eliminate many types of illnesses. It can also be used to enhance a physical performance as a part of prayer or even to reach transcendent states. To discover a past life from meditative state, visualize yourself in a different time, let the images flow into your subconscious mind. The material that comes up will be arising from your deeper mind, your subconscious mind. Don't analyze images, just let them flow forth and observe them as if you were the witness to the events of scenes they portray. Use your imagination. After you're finished, record experiences in a journal, perhaps in a separate section of your dream journal. Look for patterns, meanings, the same way you do when you examine your dreams. If you'd like more information about different meditation techniques, consult some of the books or suggested reading list in Appendix B. Many different types of meditation tapes are also available. Self observation is the key to past life recall. Your current life and circumstances often contain clues to your past life, so when you're relaxed and have some time, free time, try some self analysis. From a detached, non judgmental, non critical perspective, observe and ruminate upon your talents and abilities. Where do they come from? Did you inherit them from your parents, or could they be connected to a past life? A classic example of talent potentially inherited from past life is Mozart's ability to write symphonies at the age of 5. It could easily be hypothesized that Mozart might have been a musician in prior lifetimes, improved upon his talents, and brought them over to his current lifetime. A facility for a particular language or an affinity for a certain culture may also be a clue to past life origins. For example, in a lecture of mine, I met a Caucasian man from Oklahoma who spends all of his vacations in Jamaica. He loves the people and the culture and understands it as well as a native. What's more, he felt at home upon arriving there for the first time. You can use your current talents as a focus for accessing past lives through hypnotic regression techniques or through visualization. The remnants of a negative experiences you had during other lifetimes might have surfaced as fears or phobias in this lifetime. Take an inventory of yourself, become aware of any fears or phobias you have. Ask yourself, where does the fear come from? What do I have? Did something happen to me as a child to cause it? Did I always have had that fear? If you can't find a source for the fear and you realize that there is one you may have always had, start playing, dreaming, visualizing, and you might find the source in a past lifetime. It's important to stress that to be successful in this exercise, as in all the others, you need to be non judgmental and uncritical. For instance, if you address a fear of water by saying, "Oh, I'm just afraid of water, I'm a coward," and that's all it is to it. You'll never find a possible past life connection to a drowning. Although some people find an affinity to certain culture, others are repulsed by certain areas of the world. A housewife and mother of these three recalled having a severe panic attack when her plane landed at Athens airport for the start of her honeymoon. She insisted that she and her husband leave Greece at once. They flew to Rome and later to Paris with no occurrence of the terrifying symptoms, and they had a wonderful time. In a regression session later, the woman remembered a Greek lifetime when she was pushed off a cliff to her death by people who had violently disagreed with her beliefs. Critics might argue about this woman's panic upon landing in Greece was a result of repressed fears about her new marriage. But the complete disappearance of the symptoms when they arrived in another country refutes such an argument. Others uncover clues about their past life through experiences of deja vu. Have you ever had a strange feeling of having been there before when when first visiting a place? After one of the lectures, a couple in their early 50s told me about a recent trip to Italy. This was their first trip in the country, but neither one understood or spoke the language. The couple rented a car, lost the way while driving through northern Italy, becoming increasingly anxious at nightfall, approached they entered a small town. The wife suddenly had a strange feeling of deja vu. The town seemed hauntingly familiar to her. Her husband described the glazed look that came over her eyes at the moment. He was shocked when she began speaking Italian to the villagers, who assumed that she knew their language. In fact, she had never studied or spoken Italian in her life, not in this life. Have you ever had a spontaneous reverie of being in a different place, different time, different body? This might not just be a daydream. Children frequently report such reveries, which might be past life memories, but many adults do too. Have you ever noticed a particular unexplainable attraction to someone or a puzzling dislike for another person? You might have been together before. Observe your likes and dislikes, your clothes and your habits. What are your dominant personality traits? Look around your home. What art and furniture motifs are present? What decorative styles? Keep a clear, calm, open mind as you look around. One patient of mine couldn't come up with any patterns onto her collections. She denied having any affinity or attraction to any particular historical period or culture. It fell to the friend who had accompanied her to the session to point out that the patient's entire home was filled with 19th century Japanese art. So relax and do not neglect to see what might be looming all around you. Don't worry about whether or not the information is real. Your mind is producing the material, and the exercise will have the same effect as dreams. That is, this process will stimulate your mind to render more and more valid past life material. Your aim initially is to open doorways and establish pathways. Later on, with experience, you can be more analytical. You'll know when the time has come. Play techniques for accessing your past lives. Free associating with emotionally charged words and phrases might help you access your past lives. There are certain universal words that transcend cultures and lifetimes. There are fixtures throughout the ages. The partial list of them, adapted from Gloria Chadwick's Discovering Your Past Lives, appears below. Feel free to add your own words and phrases to the list. When you relax, close your eyes and think of one of these words, then observe the mental images, scenes, and feelings that result. Or tape record the list and play back the tape. Take your time, lingering with each word as scenes and feelings arise and flow across your mind. And there are many words for this. We can do this later or whenever you're ready. Afterwards, write down the images in your journal. Use them later to look for past life patterns or themes, or use them as clues for your regression and visualization techniques. Sessions. For example, if you are free associated with the word soldier, and then you saw yourself marching in Civil War, you might write the image down in your journal and then meditate upon it the next day, week, or even months later. It helps to be open and playful when trying the exercise. As an aside, past life during the civil wars are very common. Many people have a deja vu experience when visiting civil war graves and battle sites. The techniques I call faces is another play method to remember past lives. Sit a few feet across from a friend with the lights dim and with soft music in the background. Look into the other person's face. Watch to see if the person's real face changes. Observe and describe the changes you see. Features often do appear to change. Eyes, nose, hairstyles dissolve and reform. Headgear sometimes appears. You know, also try the exercise alone by using a mirror and observing the changes you see in your own face. If you notice a white light extending 1 to several inches from your friend's head or even your own mirror reflection, you might be seeing a manifestation of the energy field extending outward beyond the physical body. Many people report seeing this aura, which sometimes appear in colors. I have cited several people who have independently described the same pattern of colors in the aura of another person. When I had them watch or read another person's energy field, the descriptions were also identical to each other. I first tried this exercise with several people in my office, and they were able to see the transformations in facial features, in skin color, hair, eyes, and so on. Still, I worried that this simple approach might seem silly or foolish, or just might be or just be perceptual distortion, and I was reluctant to introduce it as an exercise in my workshop. Finally, near the end of an exciting workshop with a cooperative group of several hundred people, I decided to take the plunge. Over 100 pairs of workshop participants sat facing each other in a dimly lit hotel ballroom, gazing into each other's faces. After a period of time, people were instructed to find a new partner and again try the exercise. Results surprised us all. The majority of people saw their partners' face change dramatically into a series of faces, some very ancient looking. Some people had psychic experiences in which they saw faces that they later discovered resembled their partner's dead relatives. Others saw features that looked although they belonged to spiritual guides. Still others saw the faces of figures their partners have seen only in past life regression on the psychics had described to them. When we change partners, oftentimes the same faces were observed in the very same people by the new partners. Many people saw auras for the first time. One 14-year-old boy was able to physically pick up information about his partners. He had never done this before. Since then, I have included faces in every workshop. The results are consistently dramatic and it's a lot of fun. The only secret up to faces is to make sure you try it in a dimly lit room. This frees up the left brain and always passage of intuitive impressions. Faces can provide clues to many different past lives, as in other methods, meditation, visualization, and or free association be observed. Teenies can fill out the memory. Let them expand and develop without censoring the material. A face may become a group of faces or a whole scene may unfold behind the face. You may hear a voice or an important word. Try it and see. Visiting a reputable psychic who can also do past life reading is another interesting recall technique that can be very enjoyable. The psychic might be able to provide you with valuable clues, or you might feel something resonate within you as he or she speaks. Memories might even be triggered. Psychic reading is not as emotionally charged or as a regression session. When your own memory bank is stirred and your own images and feelings flood your awareness, as a result, therapeutic change does not occur. Yet, a session with a good psychic can be as enjoyable experience and might provide some thought-provoking clues to your past. Beatrice Rich, a well-known psychic in New York and Miami, told me about a client who wanted more than the usual psychic reading. This man, a business executive, wanted a past life reading too, working with psychometry, which is the art of receiving psychic impressions from holding an object belonging to the client. Beatrice saw this man's body change. His arms became darker, much thicker, and more muscular. She saw that he was a soldier and a skilled archer. Unbeknownst to her, the man who lived in New York City had one passion above all others: archery. Had she psychically picked up an interest? Was she reading his mind, elaborating a scenario? Or was she actually reviewing a tree from one of the past lives, a life that was also pertinent to this man's present? While Beatrice was reading another client, the room became hazy to her, and she saw the woman transform in a Turkish lady who had sold bracelets and trinkets in a bazaar hundreds of years ago. Afterwards, the woman removed her jacket and rolled up the sleeve of her blouse to reveal an arm covered with bracelets. They both laughed. Was Beatrice's vision just a psychic impression of her client's wardrobe, or was it another scene from a past life? Even Beatrice is not sure. On another occasion, she kept seeing a woman change from an ancient Hawaiian to someone from an old Northern European culture, back to her current body, and then the cycle began over and over again. This client repeatedly saw vacations and other two places, Hawaii and Scandinavia. Beatrice saw another client, college student in a different body, living in a primitive culture thousands of years ago. She described an ancient spoon-like device like from which this man was able to sling objects such as crude arrows or darts. She described the long row of huts along the river bank and the fierce warrior tribes who lived upriver. This student's archaeology professor claimed to no such weapons had ever been existed, and the client finally found a picture of it in a textbook. Beatrice had never seen this weapon before, and she had her psychic vision. Another method for triggering past life recall is body work. Some memories appear to be connected to actual areas of the physical body, a kind of cellular memory. Many people undergoing acupressure massage, kinesiology, reflexology, and other methods of stimulating key areas of physical body experience flashes of past life scenes. A person whose former life was lanced in the lower back, for example, might re experience this traumatic event during a vigorous massage stimulation at the identical site in the current body. Sometimes the trigger site is in a different place, often in the lower legs and feet. The example I had during acupressure massages described earlier is a good example of this phenomenon. During one session, while the acupressure therapist worked on my feet, I had reached a very deep state of relaxation. Suddenly, I began to have a vivid and detailed memory of having been a priest in the ancient Near East. If you have such a memory, or even a fragment of a memory, write it down in your journal. Later on, you may see that it is a part of a larger pattern, or you might be able to elaborate on it with techniques described here. A final but important point: do not be surprised if these techniques or regression exercise in the next chapter lead you to a place that is not a past life. When I regress patients, I do not know where their higher wisdom will take us. Oftentimes, destination is a past life, a series of past lives. Sometimes, destination is childhood, or a healing garden, or a mystical light filled place that seems to exist between lives. In every case, it will be your subconscious wisdom that decides the best place for you. Often, when conducting a regression, I feel as though I am only along for the ride. You may also experience new places and experience when you are in using techniques, perhaps even places and experiences that are not described in this book and where I have never been. Allow yourself the possibility of being surprised by an unexpected experience. Often these are the ones that induce the most growth. Instead of experiencing a past life, you may go to a place and read the mystical records like Beth did in chapter 9. You may meet a loved one in a garden who gives just one sentence of advice, or Betsy's father gave her in chapter 5. You may even experience others' realities, other dimensions beyond the traditional reference points of space and time. Let your growth evolve in an intuitive, non-linear way, of which this is the pattern it will take. As long as you allow yourself to feel playful and non judgmental about experiences, you will always continue to grow. Remember, if something comes up that really troubles you, you can go to a therapist or resolve it. Most people, however, remember experiences, whether from childhood or a past life or elsewhere, without significant discomfort or anxiety. I have regressed many people in large groups and I have never had any problems. You will never get stuck in the places where you can go. You always have the option of opening your eyes or floating above experience. You have the choice. Your subconscious mind is always in control. It is not going to allow something to happen that you cannot handle. Finally, these techniques for recalling your past lives, or at least for being able to become aware of some of the clues and signposts along the way, are by no means the only ones. Studies have been done of past life recall that occur during electrical stimulation of certain areas of the brain, of memories retrieved while on drugs or in alerted mental states, from comas, near death and out of body experiences, and in many other ways. There is excitement in this exploration study. There is an exhilaration when you realize how much greater you are than your current confined ego or personality. The real you, the immortal you, is the you that is present from body to body, from life to life. How exciting is it to meet yourself? Now it's about, okay, so we just have one meditation left and we have time, but we don't have that much time. Do you want me to do it now or should we do it on Monday? Or should I record this and send it to you, all of you? And then you can do it on your own later whenever required. Monday. Take it cool, because today you may have work to do also. All right, and Monday morning, 6 o'clock, we will do this meditation. And with that, this book will come to an end. And after this, I had to let you know that the next book, it's actually not a book. I was going through it, and we'll go through it maybe on Monday. I'll show it to you. It's like, those oracle cards. Some people know as oracle cards, some people know as the healing cards. It's about that. So Doreen Virtue and Brian West came up with this series, and that card, every card that opens, it's the meaning of that card. It's not a book to be read, actually. It's a book of healing. But I don't have the deck of cards either. So explore it. I'm going to send the PDF to everybody, and then we can decide what's the next way forward. Yeah. So maybe Monday will be the last session of this series. Let's decide it on Monday itself. Meanwhile, I'm happy to share the ninth book, and we can decide what we want to do about it. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you on Monday morning now. Thank you so much. Lots of love and light.
Thank you, Prachi. Thanks a lot.